So you're saying that reality is both subjective and objective?
Yeah. I think ultimately it's objective in that reality is not dependent on my individual consciousness. I think it is dependent on consciousness, you know, of who's present and supervising it.
Yeah.
You know.
What about dreams?
But it's not. That's a different kind of. That's a very kind of internal form of reality and personal consciousness.
How do you know?
Because I tend to kind of
see internal. Where's that come from?
Well, it's, you know, internal in that it's part of my thinking. You know.
Oh, just well, exactly. Yes, I'm teasing you slightly.
Yeah. Well, how do you kind of link dreams to?
Well, I mean, it's like it's the classic thing, isn't it? You know, if we are living in a real world, how do you explain dreams? Are they real or unreal? In other words, where do you draw the line? Do you see what I'm saying? Because we all know that we've all had dreams which have been incredibly, you know, I know that some of us do and don't remember them and all the rest of it, but I think most people have had at one stage or another, you know, pretty vivid dreams of people maybe they knew or didn't know, or places they've been or never been, and all the rest of it. In other words, they create whole new worlds, you know, in your dream world, if you like. Okay. Now, is that reality?
I actually think that it is a form of reality.
Ah.
It's obviously not the only reality we live in.
Right.
But there's different stages. There's waking consciousness, there's deadened unconsciousness, and there's also dream state. It's actually, you know, it's one of the varieties of consciousness that we experience.
Yeah.
Generally, we're conscious of those things which have taken kind of physical manifestation. Yes, it's energy, but it's taken some physical things. And when I kind of change something, it not only affects me, it affects you. Whereas dreams is kind of consciousness. In one sense, it's just as real, because we are no more connected to this saucer in reality. My body is touching it, but in one sense, the conscious spirit, the soul, is no more connected to this saucer than we are to the things in the dream.
Yeah.
We are no more affected, you know, in emotions and in the content of our thinking by this saucer and the things as much as we are in dreams. Dreams can affect us just as heavily as anything in the external world.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. So in one sense, we're equally affected by both and equally unaffected by both. So it is simply another state that we, as a conscious being, get to inhabit. And both of them are important. And both of them are playing out karmic circumstances.
Mm.
Often, some of our karmic kind of things will happen to us in the physical realm, and sometimes they'll play out in the unconscious, in the dreaming state. Sometimes our free will manifest in the choices we make in the physical, and sometimes in the dream state.
Hmm.
Last night I actually had a very weird dream. And you know, it was one of those. I'm going to have trouble kind of pulling up the exact thing, but it was something to do with my son Yudi being upset with me over something. And I woke up this morning kind of analysing what I thought I had done that would have provoked me feeling, and why, or how he would have felt like that.
Yeah.
And I was able to kind of think, well, actually, there was something I did, and you know, on the physical level, you know, so there was a kind of repeat of the circumstances, and in the dream, I had a chance to kind of redress it, if you like. So you can kind of play out both good and bad through your dream state, and in one sense, for consciousness and its spiritual path, both are equal. Mm-hmm. There actually isn't that much distinction, and often the ability of our free will to manifest is easier in a dream. It's actually, you know, less likely to be compromised by expectation and circumstances. You know, our heartfelt way of dealing with something might actually come out in a dream. So I think it's a very important part of reality.